We're here today with Mr. James Browne, who's been on the channel from Team Thirsty Thursdays. What did you do today?
I won locals playing Skull Servants.
Skull Servants?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wow.
Lightsworn Skull Servants Horus, 60 card pile.
Nice, very good.
It's the deck that I'm playing for the format at the minute. It's what I brought it to regionals yesterday. I was a little unlucky, but it performed really, really well. Didn't get the top, but won today. It's a work in progress right now. So this is where I'm at with it at the minute, and hopefully I can kind of keep refining it just a little bit and to get it up to where I need it to be. So you play 3 Uni Zombie,
nice.
2 Mizuki. Uni Zombie is like a 1-card starter for the deck. It sends your Skull Servants and it gets you to start into your milling, and milling will get you into the Lightsworns and so on and so on. So it makes sense when you see all the bits. 3 Baking, 3 White Lord, new card out of the Legacy Destruction.
It's a common as well.
As a common, yeah. This card is like completely cracked for the deck. Okay. What it does is like, it mills, you discard it to, or it's actually from discard or send from fields. You mill equal to the number of Skull Servants in your grave. So at minimum, it's always 5 if you start with Baking, because Baking puts 4 in grave, and then it counts itself, so it's 5. And then if you're ever more than 5, you're milling like 10, 15 on.
So it mills 5 just from the top of the deck.
Yeah, at minimum it mills 5, so it gets the Lightsworn engine up and running.
That's insane.
Or hopefully it will, you know. If you're getting it twisted, you're gambling, but you know. And then you are playing.
For any of you who missed tier format, where you're milling and seeing what you're gonna do.
And unlike the thing about playing like a tier version versus playing a version like this is that this is more straight like milling. Tier is more like kind of more combo. You're always more sending stuff as well. You're sending the stuff you need. Where this is more just you're going to send a
it's not
ton
as random
of cards,
as you thought.
Cards to the grave. So you play 1 White Mare. You play 2 the King. You play 2 Prince. 2 the OG, the vanilla. There's my LOB.
And a speed dual super. Yeah. Nice.
Speed dual super. Mixed match rarities, 2 LEDE. So that's all the Skull Servants. You have to play them all at 2 minimum. They're all kind of bricky, so like the one thing the deck doesn't have is not like super consistent. You do need to kind of have like, you can brick on like just these, not even this.
Well, I mean, you brick on the normal monster.
Yeah, these 4, the vanilla and these 2 as well. They're the 6 you don't want to see.
Because the other ones you can make into a Link 1, right?
Yeah, 6 out of 60 isn't bad. At least, Link 1. This is like, hopefully you'll have other cards to play. But you know, you're playing, it's basically all engines, so you should be able to play. You play them all at 2, you wouldn't play them at 3. 1 isn't enough, you just won't get enough card advantage out if you play these at 1. 2, you could play this at 3 if you wanted, because it's a good pitch off of like the Horus cards later. And then you play this at 1 because if you already open one of, so Baking will adds 2 and then discards 1 from hand. So it'll add you Lord and Prince, and then you can discard any card from your hand. So if you already have Lord or Prince, this is what you want to add next, because this is an extender, and you'll essentially, all of this then together, if you have, let's say all of this is what you have, this will equate to at least, if you have both Mizukis, about 7 bodies on field, somewhere between 6 and 8. So if you start with this, you should be able to use a combination of these to make 4 summons, make Appaloosa for 4, and then you can start doing all the rest after.
For context, I played against you last round and you bodied me with like an insane game board.
I did, and it's amazing. Like sometimes you can just mill and you just whiff, and then that's what these types of decks are like. You can whiff, and sometimes you're just hitting the craziest things imaginable. Like,
well, there's a bit of sending as well. I could see that.
Yeah, and the Lightsworns are going to be the sending part of the engine. I started with JD randomly. I played with JD, which is now searchable thanks to another new card out of Legacy Destruction that you can buy in your local OTS store. 3 Dragonling. Thank you to Ian, who's lending me one currently at the minute. Dragonling dumps 1, so it's going to make a Synchro or rank 4 or Synchro 8, so either Minerva right away, as long as you have 1 in grave. It searches JD or Punishment Dragon, so I'm playing JD. It's part of my combo. You're essentially, I'll show you the rest of them first before I explain. So 3 Wise, 3
Wolf,
3
Fellas, 2 Millers.
Just 2 Raiden. Raiden's kind of like, because they all send each other now, Raiden's not as like necessary, so I think 2 is fine. Sometimes I summon him off of Voice if I hit it, and then 3 charge, of course. And no solar recharge either. You don't really need it with the new support if you're not familiar. Weiss puts 1 to the top of the deck and mills 2, so opening these is fine. You don't really need to discard them off solar recharge like you would have needed before. And I don't feel like I need solar recharge because I actually want these in hand, because I'll end up maybe, as you mill your way to these later, they're kind of actually fine in hand, so I never really want to discard them. So the standard combo, you'll kind of see the extra cards later. Essentially, you'll make a Synchro 8, which will be the new Minerva. That'll make you a second Synchro 8. You'll have added...
Which will be Amitara, yeah.
Which for me is Amitara. Then you'll add JD, and that's 3 8s, so you can summon JD, and then you can overlay into whatever rank 8 you want to do from there. So that's
I think for most people it'll probably be Amitara though, right?
Yeah.
Because you're building a board.
Yeah, it's definitely... It adds an
Your
end
other
piece to
options
your board.
like Omega or something.
That's where I'm at, and you'll see the end board piece later when I'm adding the trap that I'm adding, the Vsauce target. And then JD, yeah, just helps you make rank 8s, you summon it, overlay, and then you can Minerva banish after. Make sure you do you summon this first, and then don't banish all your cards off Minerva, then you won't be able to summon JD anymore, which I've done once or twice.
I think the vibe I get a lot with this deck is if you're longing for a bit of milling from tier, or if you're longing for a bit of build your board like Vanadium, this might be the perfect deck for you, either option.
And I can't show you the combo because it would take far too long. It takes me about like 10 to 15 minutes if I have absolutely everything. If I open like Imseti and like a zombie and like 2 Lightsworns, I'll be playing absolutely
That being said, it's not the cheapest deck in the world, you know, with all the stuff.
Yeah, all of the Skull Servants are a common charity deck. They all come in common. So that part of it is cheap.
It's the Horus and everything.
But the Horus stuff, of course, will cost more.
Of course.
So just 1 Pearl Arena, 1 Sheeran. Because I'm playing a different Amitara target that you'll see later, which is it's reframing. I wanted a secondary target if I already have it, so I just played the Warren Pearl. And also, Sheeran's one of the best. Is probably the best extender of the deck. Pitches the Skull Servants out of hand, mills 3. It's like you would never not play this in the deck, if nothing else. I don't play a fusion target for it, so it's actually a bad mill, which is very funny to say. In the deck, you could play a Mud Dragon for it. I was playing a Mud Dragon because it's another 4 to get into like the 4 plays with the Lightsworns. But I find that you don't need it because the Skull Servants are so many bodies that you never need more stuff to do. And you'll see how tight the extra deck is. You'll see how many bloody
stuff you're siding.
Extra monsters I'm siding. And the Horus cards, just 2 of these, 1, 3, and then I put 3 walls as well. The game is so much easier when you see these.
60 cards,
Yeah, I need to see Imseti. It's really hard when I don't have these. I kind of miss playing even the 3rd Kingstark. Maybe could find its way back in. I tried to put it in. Went back down to 2 Uni and 3 Kingstark, but they're both kind of equally good starters, so I'm not really sure yet. I'll try and find...
I think the Uni would probably trump it because it lets you get into a Synchro 8 as well.
Yeah, and into the mills. Yeah, and it is a level 4 tuner, or level 3 that becomes level 4 tuner. So that's them. And then non-engine is kind of funky. So it's 2 droplet, and this is all because it's kind of space. So I'll do it this way. So as a kind of a 3, so it's 2 and 1, and then it's 2 thrusts. So the 1 is just the thrust target, and then 2. This is kind of like the space I have, and then I have thrust targets, which are terraforming, foolish, and then I'm playing like a call by as well. Call by because maybe you'll get lucky and absolutely sack someone who tries to shift you when you go first and you have call by. Absolutely insane if you did that, but you know.
Don't do that.
there's almost no ways to play around shifter, unfortunately, so you just have to do what you can. And then full terraforming obviously for walls or for Pearl Rhino, and then foolish obviously it's like starts every engine, whichever engine you want to get started, it'll get you going. But I think it's best for the Skull Servants, sending white baking, you're straight into a mill 5, and you've already thinned your deck by 5 as well at the same time. They're really, really good. The deck is insanely good at going second. The King of the Skull Servants provides so much pressure to kill. It's very easy to get it up to like an 8, 9, 10, 11,000 attack monster. And if they have a Link monster on board, that's nearly always going to be game. And these cards help you push. So I really like this. I really like how good it is going second. The Skull Servants kind of is, at its core, a go second deck. It doesn't do a huge amount going first, but in combination with these other cards, it does a lot. And then I'm playing 3 trap cards. Which are also 2 of them.
2 are non-engine, kind of.
Yeah, so the reframing that I mentioned, part of the combo, so it has to be in main. The Lightsworn Aegis.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about this.
Another new card from the new set. When it's milled, it sets itself. I never mill this, but you can also send it off of Lightsworn Dragon can send it too, because it sends any card on summon. So if you already have enough bodies, if you hit your Fellas and Wolves, Fellas in particular, then you can.
And it's like that Scrap Dragon card that they used to be in Dragon Link. The level 9.
It actually won me 1 game today. I basically went normal summon Raiden and had to pass. I went normal Raiden, missed the mills. I went Pearl Rhino, I got ashed. So I thrust set this, and I had Raiden, and that was enough to help me win the game. Then I had this plus droplet, and I was able to get back to my turn again and win the game from there. And the last card is Blackout Laughs. Shout out to my teammate Fitzy, who suggested me to play this, and also Art, who told me to play reframing.
You weren't playing reframing before?
I was actually Sulliek was the first card I was playing.
Oh, that's wild. Okay.
It was the first card I thought of, and he said reframing.
Oh no, reframing's crazy. Yeah.
And that got me the idea to end on a synchro as part of my end board instead, which I wasn't doing before. I was ending on Armitara, but actually it just made more sense because I wanted to keep the Minerva. Because in theory it's follow up if it's not out.
Because the board's crazy. Like.
Yeah, and Black Goat is my thrust target. If I get Ash going first and I open thrust. Really, really good, and it's a good mill. If I just mill it as part of my combo, there's no harm, no foul. If I lose it, I can just add follow up. I will say the best thrust target in the deck by far, though, if you're going second, is definitely Charge of the Light Brigade.
Yeah.
Thrust at charge is completely bonkers, and I think I win just about any game that I do that.
Cool. Just I extra, I say first. Yeah.
Extra. I didn't sort, so it's going to be kind of all over the place.
I know.
So we got some Link monsters. Dark, obviously, makes sense. Phoenix, I just went back onto Phoenix. This was all kind of like going first stuff, and I realized in testing that it's just hard to push going second. Like you can summon infinitely going second, but you just can't. You don't have enough. Like I didn't have enough things to pick apart a board, like things like Phoenix, Cerberus, Unicorn, SP. I just didn't have enough of it. So IP and SP is here. We've got our Link 1 is Anima. It's your weakest starter, but technically you can summon White Baking and link it off. I considered Almirage for this to have a better arrow. The upward arrow is a real pain in the ass. But I've stuck with it for now. Usually if I need to kind of play, because going second again, Anima and then into SP is pretty strong, and then I have Phoenix as an option as well, and then more options in my side deck if I'm going second. I know I am. Vampire Sucker. This is just a nice little combo piece. As you're doing the normal Skull Servant combos, you'll essentially what you'll do, I mentioned your lines involve going through. You're going to start with, you're going to go Minerva first. That's going to send you to make another Synchro 8. You're going to make Armitara. Armitara's going to grab you Reframing. You're going to summon JD. You're going to overlay the two of these, usually for Zombie Vampire. And then hopefully you'll have access to a zombie. Or you'll mill a zombie and then just summon it off this, and you'll link into Vampire Sucker. And then what that lets you do is if you have more zombie stuff in grave, you have Mizuki or White Lord. White Lord's also summons in grave. You'll just get to summon one back, which you're doing anyway, and then you'll just draw a card for free. And who doesn't like drawing a card for free? And then you'll go this, the monster you summoned, you'll have one more body, then you'll just go up into Apo from there.
Nice.
So that's kind of how all these kind of work in tandem together. Your alternative option then, if you need to mill, you obviously have to do Zombie Vampire. If you can keep extending at the point where you have like the 3/8, you can just go Photon Lords to protect yourself from Nibiru. A lot of times I've found with this deck, people aren't expecting me to make Photon Lord. If they're not
just
familiar
assume you're going to keep milling.
More than one game I've won where my opponent had Nibiru, but they thought I was going to like go Zombie Vampire and I make Photon Lord instead, and then it's turned off. So that ends up being really good. And if you get to Photon plus Apo, then your any two hand trap combo is going to get cooked, except for Impermanib, the ultimate combination. And then the last stuff is kind of more end-board pieces. So Apo, obviously. The one thing the Skull Servants on their own always do very efficiently is make Apo. You can summon 4 bodies. Just make sure it's different names. Make sure you don't summon 2 guys with the same name when you're doing that. There's a mistake I've made once. Nightmare Griffin. This is kind of like a weird end-board piece. I made it a lot today at Locals actually, but I feel weird about it because it feels so gratuitous where I could have ended on like Apo. So if I have Apo, Photon Lord, Reframing, Aegis set, I could probably just end on an IP as well, and I don't need to go as far as this. So I'm not convinced that you need it, but it is like it feels a little win more when I do it. So I'm not convinced. I think in
conjunction with the mailing though, because like post side it probably becomes a lot stronger,
and that's one of the reasons I played it in the first place is because when you mill and then you get to this, you can just reset a spell trap you mill. So like droplet off this, which is a nasty and addition to your endboard priest. Today I set Black Goat last off it again as well.
Nice.
I know it has for the better field effect. And then random pieces, I have Minerva. I don't really like Minerva a lot. It's like the most satisfying card to resolve in the deck if you like hit a name and draw a card. Completely bonkers. But
not a price card, I assume.
No, not the price card. This is one that's on the verge of me cutting to. Even just to try without it. Like it's more like if your hands are kind of bad or a bit clunky, maybe you have like today against the man behind the camera, I had 2 tuners on field. It was Weiss and Raiden, I think. So I couldn't make the Synchro 8 and I had to do this instead, and I did hit and draw a card, and that ended up being really strong. And the last 2 bits I have, so usually you might wonder like how this plays through hand traps. It plays through them okay. Nibiru is a killer for sure if your opponent knows how to Nibi at the right time. I mean, you can play around. You can get to Apo as your 5th summon. It's doable. I usually do it as my 6th because I actually don't mind if I get nibbed on Sucker and then 2 bodies. That would be 5 summons if you do it that way. That's actually a fine spot to get nibbed anyway. Then you'll get to Apo. But alternatively, usually if you like get hit 2 or 3 hand traps, what you'll end up making next, you'll always have access most likely to make two level 1s, which means you can make a rank 1. So I've gone Ensemble Robin.
Nice.
I also have to consider trying Fucho in this slot.
That's the one
that's just the towers, just unaffected.
That might be better for Shifter.
Yeah, well, I won't be able to summon under Shifter. I'll be able to
okay.
summon the 2 level 1s. But I've seen just from my own testing and watching other people's games, Fucho Pass seems strong into Tenpai. And then the last card I'm playing is Chaos Angel. Again, this might end up on the cutting block as well. It's kind of like, I was playing it originally as a way to play through Nibiru as well, because if you have like Uni Zombie, you can level up one of your Lightsworns twice to level 6, and then you can use like a 6 and 4 and make a light plus light, so all your synchros are unaffected by monster effects. So if you're ending on like Minerva, Chaos Angel, you can't get nibs because, and you'll end on the reframing at least. But that honestly never, it's too awkward. I kind of prefer making this now, so I think this might be on the cutting block in the future. Maybe I think maybe Cerberus or the Unicorn might be something I put in this slot. I'll probably test without this going forward and see how I get.
Side deck.
The weirdest side deck I've ever played in my life. So 3 Bestials. This is to avoid getting FTK'd by Gaming Puppet, by Raid Raptor, End Board, stuff like that. Those kind of cards I just don't. I probably won't see them at 3. But it's just
you gotta have something.
Yeah. A shot at it, yeah. A shot at not getting FTK'd. The Shufflers, if they're particularly good up in a certain matchup, I'll put them in. I don't really like them that much. They are, like, if you end on, like, Pearl Rhino and Sheeran Engrave, it becomes another interruption because you get the pop. But I think they're so good when they are good that you have to include them. And then
prepared for your Flunder matchup.
Ready for Flu, obviously, goes without saying.
But also, I mean, it makes Mizuki incredibly strong as well. Like,
yeah, for sure. And then I'm playing. Let's see what I'll do next. I'll do these next. We've got 3. So I got more thrust targets, Heralds for Pearly, and honestly, just a decent board breaker. It could be something else, but I kind of like it. I was kind of worried about the Rise of Pearly, so that's where I'm with it at the minute. And then the second Talents and the third Droplet. What I did every game today.
You really leaned into thrust here,
Yeah, what I did every game today was when I win second, I just took the 3 trap cards out and I put these 3 in.
Okay.
Very standard. Maybe if the match is better, you just do the 3 Beastles instead. But I really like these because I feel like you just have so much push. And the Droplet in particular, why I went with Droplet over like other cards is discarding from your hand, getting the Skull Storm inside your hand again, really, really valuable.
Yep.
So, and then we play, time cards.
Oh my god, that's your time card. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, you can just nail it.
2 spaces.
At the regional, I won a game in time where I got to this. I played through the full Snake Eyes end board plus Valor and Nibiru, and like the Princess Pop on my Dark, and I still was able to get this Prince Counter Shot, which is very, very satisfying. Because he Princess popped my Dark, and Dark added the White Mare summon from Banish, and that gave me just enough bodies to go. And then the last 3, I'm citing, so there's 4 extract monsters in my side. So I've got Cerberus, I've got Dweller, and I've got Goddess. I can't figure out what to play in the extract. I can't narrow it down. Cerberus was nice. I put it in today. It got Valored, but if he didn't have Valor, it would have won the game. Dweller just to make against like Fire King Snake Eyes going first. It's very easy to make rank 4s, so I'm citing that. And I keep forgetting, like one of the issues with citing, I keep forgetting that I put these in. And then obviously they're out for like the Towers, Pearlies, Raid Raptors. As I mentioned a bunch of times, you can summon infinitely. You will never run out of bodies with this pile of cards. Goddess is just another option. I'll think about playing like. Other things I was thinking about is, I have them here in a box. Cards I'm not playing, but thinking about playing. I'll just mention them offhand. Unicorn, Baguska, when you get shifted, is something to do. Access Code Talker, just like I'm really struggling to narrow down. Like
I don't think so. Of all the things, I think access code is pretty not necessary.
Yeah, because you don't need the kill power. It kind of fills
the same purpose as everything else, right?
I think you're right. I think maybe Baguska here instead maybe might be better than Dweller, because like Shifter is a real problem. But the issue is like...
Can you make Baguska under Dweller or under Shifter? Like
you need exactly Sharon.
Sharon,
yeah. So if you have Terraforming, you have 3 copies. You have Terraforming, Planet, Sharon, and then another level 4 normal summon, and that's it. So that's why it's like... Maybe because it's so hard to do. Maybe you just eat the L on Shifter.
Okay.
But any ideas in the comments on how to beat Shifter in this deck? I'm all ears. And that's it. That's
Cool. Any last minute shout outs?
Yeah, shout out Gamers World. and shout out, of course, my team, Team Thursdays, me and the boys who helped me work on this so much. They're going to keep helping me work on it, and hopefully we'll get it up to nice
cool
good standards.
Yeah, you'll justify your own Discord channel.
Yeah.
All right, cheers.